He was with me, begging forgiveness, telling me to take a moment, and he would see it, and we were meant to be together. I sacrificed a lot of myself to come out successful on the other side.
Kevin Hunter, once a figure who commanded attention with his lavish lifestyle, has seen his empire crumble faster than anyone could have anticipated. The man who confidently strolled through television studios wearing expensive suits and fur coats, surrounded by luxury cars and the trappings of wealth, is now facing a staggering cascade of lawsuits, mounting debt, and public humiliation. For decades, Hunter operated in the shadows of Wendy Williams' immense fame, positioning himself as the powerhouse behind her talk show success, the unseen force steering the ship. But those carefully curated appearances of control now look fragile. Court filings from 2023 paint a grim portrait: unpaid homeowner fees, credit card defaults, and even a lawsuit from a bank seeking repayment of more than $20,000. What was once a high-flying lifestyle, funded largely by the fortune his ex-wife amassed, is now being dismantled piece by piece. The timing, almost poetically ironic, coincides with Wendy Williams herself slowly returning to public attention, asserting her presence and reclaiming her narrative as Hunter's world collapses around him.
When, the banks froze everything up, he was not in a position to pay $10,000 a month.
The timing of Hunter's downfall could not be more symbolic. As his name surfaced repeatedly in court documents detailing unpaid bills, foreclosures, and car liquidations, Wendy Williams was making a triumphant appearance in the world that once scrutinized her. In September 2025, she attended Lon Smith's New York Fashion Week show, her presence commanding attention. Cameras captured her flawless makeup, flowing blonde hair, and the aura of a woman reasserting her identity. The contrast between her resurgence and Hunter's decline is stark. Only a few years ago, Wendy herself was under intense public scrutiny, isolated in a high-priced facility she described as a luxury prison, while Kevin flaunted motivational quotes and exotic cars, projecting an image of freedom and control with his new partner, Sharina Hudson. But the illusion shattered when a New Jersey judge denied Hunter's appeal for alimony, a lifeline of $37,500 per month that had supported his extravagant lifestyle long after their split. When the check stopped in early 2022, he quickly claimed financial hardship in court, asserting he could no longer cover basic expenses like insurance, homeowner fees, or credit card debt. The judge's ruling was unequivocal: Wendy was under no obligation to bail him out. The decision not only terminated his legal recourse but revealed just how dependent Hunter had become on her wealth, exposing a vulnerability that had been carefully hidden from the public eye.
Sorry.
Hunter's desperation reached its peak in June 2024 when he filed a sweeping federal lawsuit accusing the guardianship system of corruption. He claimed Wendy Williams was being held under a fraudulent arrangement and demanded $250 million in damages to be shared between them. Observers in the legal community dismissed the case as unrealistic. Hunter had no standing to bring a lawsuit on Wendy's behalf, and the filing was essentially doomed from the start. Yet, in the court of public opinion, it reignited questions about his motives. Was he genuinely trying to liberate Wendy, or was this another ploy to secure financial gain now that his alimony had dried up? Kevin's history with Wendy, stretching back to the mid-1990s when he became her manager and gradually built a production career without formal credentials, adds complexity to the narrative. His legal maneuvers blurred the line between concern and opportunism, leaving the public and insiders questioning the true nature of his intentions.
A court proceeding that has nothing to do with Wendy's career. Moreover, that were made in front of Wendy Williams. If true, that is outrageous because this judge, one, she's not in the entertainment industry, so I don't know where she would get off opining about that and why that's even relevant to her role as a judge, who's basically the judge of the law, and in this case.
Those who worked closely with Hunter on the Wendy Williams show described him as domineering, loud, and imposing, a man who seemed to carry the weight of ownership wherever he went. The unraveling of his personal and professional life began in 2019 when his long-term affair with Sharina Hudson became public, triggering a cascade of consequences. Wendy swiftly filed for divorce, severed Hunter's ties to the show, and removed his name from all corporate documents. Meanwhile, Sharina gave birth to a daughter, establishing a household largely funded by Wendy's resources. For a time, the pair maintained appearances of glamour and success online, posting vacation photos, luxury brunches, and hints of an extravagant lifestyle. But the facade eventually crumbled. Sharina's social media presence dwindled, replaced by modest real estate listings and promotional content for a vegan business. Sources suggest she reached out to old contacts in an attempt to reconnect with Hunter amid the mounting financial pressure. Whether they reconciled is uncertain, but what is clear is that the luxurious lifestyle they once flaunted has evaporated, leaving a stark contrast to Wendy's renewed public image of confidence and independence.
An amount of people that took advantage of my absence, and her vulnerability at the time.
Meanwhile, Wendy's circumstances remain both complicated and revealing. Since 2022, she has lived under a strict court order dictating every aspect of her life, from finances to daily routines. This arrangement began when Wells Fargo questioned her mental competency and froze her accounts, prompting the court to appoint attorney Sharina Hudson as her guardian, a decision still contested by her family. A 2024 Lifetime documentary, whereas Wendy Williams, captured her isolated and seemingly disoriented, yet her recent public appearances paint a different picture. Fans and media now witness Wendy speaking clearly, demonstrating intelligence and poise. Radio interviews reveal her sharp critique of the facility where she resides, calling it messed up and expressing frustration over restrictions, such as being able to make outgoing calls but not receive them. Her publicist, Sean Zanotti, emphasizes that Wendy is fully aware and in control of her faculties. Even former colleagues note that she seems sharper than ever, proving that the woman labeled incapacitated is quietly reclaiming her voice and agency.
I'm so excited to introduce you guys these pancakes with only 3 ingredients. Baby, when I tell you these things gonna be so...
The irony of Hunter's situation is impossible to ignore. The man who once controlled Wendy's career, managed her finances, and dictated her public image now struggles to keep his own life together. Sharina, the woman who once lived in luxury funded by Wendy's fortune, appears to have abandoned that shared dream. Meanwhile, Wendy, the very woman who was dismissed and constrained by the system, continues to shine publicly. Each photograph of her smiling outside her facility, dressed in designer attire, is a stark reminder of Hunter's decline. Online fans have even commented on the contrast, noting Wendy's poise against the backdrop of Kevin selling off assets and liquidating cars. Although it remains unclear whether Wendy follows the media coverage closely, insiders confirm that she reads entertainment news and reacts with dry amusement, highlighting the reversal of fortunes between the two.
I mean, I take accountability for my actions, for what's obvious out there.
The legal drama surrounding Wendy's guardianship could reopen unresolved tensions. In filings last summer, Hunter accused the presiding judge of political bias, alleging financial connections to attorneys associated with Wells Fargo. While these claims remain unproven, they underscore Hunter's personal obsession with Wendy's affairs. Some close to her believe he still views himself as her protector or as a beneficiary of her legacy. Others suggest Sharina's rumored attempts to reconnect are less about romance and more about survival. With shared finances under strain and Wendy's estate tied up in ongoing litigation, both may be searching for ways to regain influence over the resources that once defined their lives. Rumors circulate that Hunter's financial meltdown is not merely personal misfortune but a symptom of a larger, tangled web of money and influence surrounding Wendy's guardianship. The narrative suggests that his aggressive legal moves may have been less about justice and more about regaining access to frozen assets he once managed.
And I can't figure out, why is there a gag order in this case? That Wendy can't talk about her circumstances? Why is the judge doing it? There is something that's even way...
Behind the guardianship lies a significant fortune, millions in television residuals, production royalties, and frozen assets that remain inaccessible to the public. This is the same wealth Hunter once controlled, the same money Sharina allegedly relied on for her luxury lifestyle. When these accounts froze, the world they had built began to crumble. Hunter's $250 million lawsuit against Wendy's guardian and financial institutions is seen by some as a desperate grab at remaining wealth, while others interpret it as an attempt to bring the entire legal structure crashing down around him. Former Wendy Williams show staff recount a pattern of secret meetings, sudden firings, and vanishing production deals, all of which reflect Hunter's desire for control. Combined with recent court filings, unpaid debts, and evictions, the picture becomes clearer. This is not merely a man experiencing hardship, it's someone witnessing the collapse of the entire scaffolding of influence he once built around himself.
Is one of the most outrageous things I have heard in a long time.
In a case that has been filled.
The guardianship system itself has drawn scrutiny. While the court deemed Wendy incapable of managing her finances, her accounts continue to cover facility costs, security, and legal fees, raising questions about who truly benefits from her restricted freedom. Kevin claims corruption, yet his own financial collapse highlights the irony. If Wendy were fully free, so too would her assets be. Meanwhile, Sharina's sudden disappearance from social media and the closure of her business ventures fuel speculation that she may have been cut off financially. Sources suggest she was forced to sell personal items to stay afloat, coinciding with Hunter's loan defaults and asset liquidation. Family tensions, including Wendy's son allegedly using her credit cards, add another layer to the story. Industry insiders now view Hunter's actions as attempts to position himself as indispensable, but the evidence increasingly points to a focus on wealth, not altruism.
By the way, the judge doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean,
by the way, there are a lot of people clamoring for Wendy to actually get back on the air and to have a show again.
When did this judge become Roger Ebert? I mean, I'm serious. Wendy Williams is a hot commodity right now. I can tell you from our Tubi documentary, it attracted a lot of attention. She's done interviews with major outlets.
As the story unfolds, new names continue to emerge, former managers, assistants, and lawyers who once handled Wendy's show. Some face subpoenas in unrelated cases, others refuse to comment publicly. These revelations suggest that Hunter's personal downfall may be only a fraction of a much larger network of influence, financial maneuvering, and power struggles, a chain reaction set off by his actions. The so-called Wendy web reflects the intricate system that once supported her career, now unraveling in real time. Sharina's rumored attempts to reconnect with Hunter may be a strategic maneuver amid this chaos, attempting to protect herself and maintain a foothold before the next wave of revelations. The glamorous image of their past, with mansions and luxury cars, has given way to quiet survival tactics, negotiations over debts, and an unspoken scramble for security in the shadow of scandal.
Like I said, I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
Through all the chaos, Wendy Williams' voice continues to emerge, defiant and unmistakable. In a recorded phone call from last year, she insisted, "I'm not crazy. I'm not gone." Despite slurred words at times, her fire was evident, a warning to anyone assuming she would remain silenced. For Kevin, the realization is haunting. No amount of lawsuits, posturing, or legal maneuvering can reclaim what Wendy still holds: her audience's loyalty, her brand, and her narrative. Should the guardianship ever loosen, allowing her to regain control of her finances, it could rewrite the story entirely. The comeback of a talk show legend, free at last, threatens to expose the true motives of those who sought to manage, manipulate, or profit from her fame. Meanwhile, Sharina fades into the background, her luxury dreams reduced to cautionary whispers. Beneath the surface, however, a larger reckoning continues to unfold, a reckoning that could impact not only Kevin Hunter but every individual who once capitalized on Wendy Williams' stardom. The ultimate question remains: when the woman they counted out finally speaks, who will survive the fallout?